All right, what's up, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter? Another AMA. The AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. I've been doing these for a couple of weeks now. The idea is that if you've got a question about what we do, your marketing situation, questions about pricing, niche selection, really can be about anything. Total mixed bag. If you're watching on Instagram, all you have to do is leave a comment. I'll pin it, let you know that's the next one I'm going to answer. If you're on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, you can hammer out a comment as well. I will see those, answer those one at a time. But I realized in doing these things, it takes a while to scare comments out of you guys. And so I feel like I need a topic to always start on these things. And Instagram, let me know if you can hear me okay. If somebody would leave a comment, that would be hugely helpful because my wife washed the iPads or the iPods again or earpods again. Second time these babies have gotten to wash. Remarkable product that it even still works after it's gone through the washing machine twice. But thank God I've got the Apple Care because I'm going to have to take them back to the Apple store, which is a disaster. So that's going to have to happen. But anyway, one of the things that I wanted to start with, in addition to the fact that, okay, good, turquoise one, I appreciate you. You're saying you can hear me good, hear me well. One of the things that I wanted to start with is the marketing problem. Before I get to that, this is my daily reminder of the countdown to Q4, which is 22 days left until the start of Q4, until the start of October 1st. Summer is just about over. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate that. Summer is just about over. And with that, what does that mean? It means the biggest art marketing time of the year is upon us. More art is sold in the fourth quarter than at any point in time all year long, more so than the other 3 quarters combined in some cases. And the difference between those that are going to be successful this Q4 and those that are not, it starts with a very low bar. And that very low bar is who's going to show up, who is going to do a little bit of marketing between now and then and actually run a sale. And what do most marketers do, or most artists, photographers do? You don't do it. Probably didn't do it last year, right? Unless you had some real prompting. So that's coming. But I wanted to talk about the marketing problem. And, in addition to these AMAs, I'm running these sessions all the time. And one of the recurring themes and formats I see, and I think this is just human nature to a certain extent, but I've done it so many times in my career on so many different projects and businesses and things that I've started, is you worry about all of the things that are easy to solve and you never deal with the biggest thing. Okay, the biggest thing. And yes, of course, it's the marketing problem. There's no two ways about that. But these constant comments that I just see time and time and time again. If I sign up with you guys, do you have really good analytics and tracking? Because I need to know where my sales are coming from. And if I don't know where my sales are coming from, how am I going to go and get more of them? Sounds like a totally valid question, right? Um, if I sign up with you guys, do you have all the tax taken care of? Like, am I going to be able to route the taxes and am I going to be able to know what to do with my sales tax situation? And is that all going to be dialed up? What about shipping? I don't know what to do about shipping. I don't know how I'm going to ship internationally. I don't know how I'm going to route the orders. I don't know how that's going to work out. And there's just variation after variation after variation of these. And none of them matter. The only thing that matters is getting the sale. It is such the hard thing to do, the hardest thing to do. The hardest thing to do is actually get the sale, is actually move the art. After that, everything you'll find out is extremely easy, right? Is extremely easy. And I'm talking to all these aspiring artists and photographers, and what do they want? They want to monetize their creativity and be on the path towards building a business, towards building a successful business. And for some of you guys, it's going from 0 to 1. You want to sell your first piece. And for others, it's move into the side hustle category where you're bringing in some side income, but you still have a regular job. For others, you're out of the side hustle and you're like contemplating, should I leave my job? I'm bringing in decent income. Is now the time? It doesn't matter though. You're all attempting to monetize your creativity, and focusing on the nonsensical problems is going to get you absolutely nowhere. That's what everyone has done for their entire careers. And where has it gotten you? You're not taking any positive steps forward and actually attempting to grow your business. The only thing you need to worry about, okay, is getting the sale. Anything that comes after the sale is such an easy problem to fix. I can't even begin to tell you. And, the analogy that I thought about today, because I'm quite fond of analogies, as you're well aware, if you've been following me for any period of time, or art storefronts for any period of time for that matter, is what you and I live in a house together, right? And There's a problem. Okay. The house doesn't have a roof and it's raining, and we are getting rain dumped all over us. It's coming down on our head. And what do? We're running around worrying about the electrical system, or we're worrying about what color the front door should be, or we're worrying about what the landscaping in the front needs to be, or worrying about whether or not we're going to trim the hedges in the backyard, or whether we need a new 50-50 fence with the neighbor. There's no roof on the house. You've got to fix the roof on the house problem. And that's getting to the sale. And that is working on the marketing problem. It is without question the only problem you need to be concerned about. And it's the one that no one wants to work on. We have got to put a roof on the house, which means we have got to solve the marketing problem. It's the only thing that matters here. So you stay focused on that, you're going to win. But for those joining, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you got questions, I'm answering. Can be about just about anything. Does not matter to me about what we do, Art Storefronts as a business, about what's going on in your business, about what you're struggling with, about a social media marketing question, Facebook ads, niche selection, branding, can be just about any and all of it. And again, live streaming, multiple different platforms. And one of the analogies I gave today too on this, as you guys are ideally coming up with questions, is what is the best time to stream your live art show? What's the best time to do it? You've heard so many things about when the best time to do it is. Really, the answer is the best time to do it is whenever you can pull it off. Okay, whatever's going to get you to do it. I don't care if you do it in the middle of the night and no one shows up. At least you ran one and you're getting better. But this concept of live streaming, okay, it is very, very easy to understand if we put it in this tiny little box. And you know what the little box is? All of you guys individually, okay? Every single solitary one of you. And thank you, Diane. I see your question. I'll answer it in just a sec. You guys are all individual stores in the mall. You're all individual stores in the mall. That's it. And when you're not doing your marketing, when you're not doing your live streaming, especially, the doors to your store are closed. So there's people walking into the mall. I've got to go in the mall and get a new set of these things because my wife washed them. Other people are going in about return a pair of shoes. Others are going to go meet someone for lunch. Lovely white wine lunch there. If your doors are not open, you don't get the serendipity of being in the mall. Why do you think people are in the mall and paying the rent that they are in the mall? Because all of the other stores are going to generate foot traffic that are going to come into your store, right? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube are just malls, okay? And by streaming into them, what I'm doing right now, this live stream, I'm opening the doors to my shop and I'm saying, hey, if you're in the mall for something, why don't you come on in and we can talk about whatever it is, right? In my case, I'm trying to hawk you software and education. In your case, you're trying to hawk art and photography, your crafts, whatever, right? But understand that concept because it is so insanely powerful. And what you find after you do this for any length of time is serendipity is real. It is absolutely real. You have no idea when the people that are interested in your art, your photography, are going to be in the mall. You just have no idea. You can pick certain times when they're doing the Christmas tree lighting ceremony in the mall, and that would be a good time to be open, sure. But you're really ultimately never going to know. And so every single solitary time you open those doors to the store, you put yourself in a position to capitalize on the serendipity of the people that we're walking through at that particular moment. And it's so powerful. It's so insanely powerful. Now, I get it. It isn't easy. It isn't easy, right? Like, this is my full-time job. Okay. I get paid to do this. So it's easy for me to go live multiple times a day and open up the store. But I'm not saying you have to do it every day. I'm not saying you have to do it multiple times a day. I'm just saying you need to do it more than you are now. Right now, for most of you, the now is zero. All I'm saying is go from 0 to 1. Go from 0 to 1 for a month. Okay. So go live once a week, talk, do your thing, have some conversations and see what happens. My guess is that you're going to get utterly, totally, and completely energized on that experience. And I know this because I see it happen every single solitary time when I do it. And I know this because every single solitary time I get a customer, usually kicking and screaming over the line to run their first art show, they're like, this is amazing. This is amazing. I can't believe that this worked out the way that it did. It's absolutely phenomenal. So Such a critical analogy in the whole live art show thing. But I'm going to get into some of the comments. I'm going to start out with Diane, and Diane saying, I'm just starting out with my art and I don't have much inventory yet. How much inventory is good to start with? One piece. One piece is all you need, Diane. That's it. And the point of that is you'll never get started otherwise. No one ever gets started. All just gets started when I have X pieces of inventory, right? And then that moves to all just gets started when I get X pieces of inventory photographed and ready. And all just gets started when I work out all of my branding and get my logo done. And meanwhile, Diane, the seconds turn into minutes, turn into hours, turn into days, turn into months. How's that art business coming? You're never going to get started until you get started. And you're missing out on all the feedback you're going to get along the way, right? You know, like, oh, I'll just get started when I have my 10 pieces created. Well, what if you create those 10 pieces and you realize nobody wants any of it? You could have created the one piece, found out that nobody wants it, and be like, okay, I'm going to go do something different. Or you might find out that you create 3 pieces and you start the business, and they're 3 different styles, and everybody loves the one style, and you're like, oh my gosh, the market is now telling me this is the piece that I need to create, right? This is what I should be doing. Next up is Andy. And by the way, any of you guys that are just joining on Instagram, you can ask a question. All you have to do is type it out and I'll answer. I think marketing the creative work that you love doing is a massive block for many artists. There's guilt around getting paid for the work that you love. Yeah, there is to a certain extent, but there's no right answer there, Andy. Like, you have to decide if you want to have a business or if you want to have a hobby. If you want to have a hobby, that's all good. That's incredible. Like, I am an amateur photographer. I like to think I'm pretty good at it. I take some incredible photos. I studied it in school. I know how to operate a camera. And I don't ever want it to be anything aside from a hobby because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy having my little world of creative expression and it makes me happy and it makes me relax. So I've decided I'm going to be a hobbyist. I'm not going to make a business out of it. But if you want to make a business out of it, Andy, you have to make a genuine determination that you are going to attempt to market and sell it because no one else is going to do that for you. You should not feel guilty if you were given a talent to create and then you go out and create and not sell it. Like, the whole point is to monetize that talent. If that's what you want to be doing, if that's what you love doing, then you got to go out there and do it, right? Because no one's going to do it for you. And the beautiful thing is most artists and photographers never will, and they'll never take it seriously, and they'll never stick at it consistently. So understand the competitive advantage you have if you're the one that does. Those are the ones that are successful, Andy. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy, but it's an important mental distinction. Do you have a hobby or do you have a business? If you do, trust me, you gotta just keep going at it. And by the way, AMA, you can ask any question you want, obviously. I feel like, and I just had this conversation with someone who was at a store buying something. I feel like both my cell phone and my email address have utterly, totally, and completely been compromised on the dark web or whatever else. 90% of my phone calls now are spam. Tell me about my car warranty or healthcare plan or upgrade to DirecTV. And almost all of my email to my personal email, which I've had for probably like 18 years through Gmail, is just starting to become more and more and more and more and more spam nonsense. I'm getting sent all the time. It's unbelievable what's happening to those channels. Do I need to change my email address? Is it on the dark web? I don't know, but infuriated. But 22 days left, guys. 22 days left till the start of Q4, the biggest art selling time of the year. And for you to win, all you have to do is start doing some marketing now and hammer down on it. All right, now Instagram's saying you can't hear me. Let me know if that's really the case. I'm gonna have to reconnect, disconnect, and see what that looks like. If someone else on Instagram tell me if you can't hear me. I know Facebook, YouTube, you guys still can because I'm using my mic. But if that's the case, let me know. When I just have to do this, actually. This is the other thing. Like, when you're running these shows all the time, when you're running live streams all the time, you realize that constantly things are going to go wrong. And at first, your heart rate starts going, "Do, do, 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 do." Oh my gosh, something's going to break, something's going to go wrong. And then you know what happens? You get a comment like that, like something's broken. You're like, oh, what do I do to fix it? And then you go and you fix it, right? Like, everyone has these types of issues with tech support. So Instagram, can you hear me or no? Let me know. if that fixed it. I hope that fixed it. It should have fixed it. And do you want to know why Instagram broke? Because I just got a spam call telling me about my car warranty or whatever else. It is so insanely infuriating. I can't even begin to tell you. Um, but yeah, what else, guys? Questions? What are you struggling with? What is the number one problem that you have in your business right now that you're like, if I could just fix this one problem, my business would take off and go to the next level? If you'd like to chime in, you certainly can. And you never know. You just never know when is going to be the good time to get a bunch of people engaged in one of these sessions. And 3 o'clock normally is good, right? And I bring this up to say that I get the question all the time, like, I'm going to run a live art show. I'm ready to do this. And what's the best time to do it? You're never going to know. You're never going to have enough data. Instagram is now out of the sound zone, so I have to try and fix this still. So annoying. Just so annoying. Let's see if that fixes it. All right, let me know if that fixed it, Instagram. And you know what? If it doesn't fix it, I'll just end it and move on and keep rolling. And that's what you got to do. You got to roll with the punches on these shows. Best way to do it. But somebody on Instagram was like, don't worry, I found it on YouTube. It's still working. Amazing. I love that. I love that people can just move from one platform to another. It's absolutely staggering. I wonder if these things are actually good enough to put on the podcast feed. Good. Turquoise One says yes. Thank you. Okay, great. Finally, I reset it. Wonderful, wonderful. Sorry, guys. Appreciate you letting me know. But part and parcel, this is like what happens all the time on live streaming. It's sort of like when they do a news broadcast and they're like, we're now going to go down to Dan, who is at such and such town center. Dan, what do you see down there? And he starts talking and he can't say anything. Like, look, it happens to them too. All right, Andy says, I love what you said about live streams. I've been going live every time I've been creating work lately. I've gone from 1 to 3 people in a few weeks, but it's good fun. Yeah, see, that's how it goes, Andy. And the good ones, you want to email everybody, right? Like, what people don't understand is the live stream is really just a marketing moment, right? And like, Andy, we have big followers, okay? We have 80,000 on our Facebook page. And, well, our old Instagram account got banned. So now I'm on the backup Instagram account. So this thing's only 2,200 followers, but YouTube's decent following clip. I'm streaming to our Facebook group. And, what ends up happening? Maybe sometimes you get really low follower counts. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because if it's a good piece of content and you've created it, you go and download it after the fact and you email it to everyone. So if you sort of zoom out and like contemplate live content creation, really what you're doing is you're creating content, right? I was going to create the content anyway. I needed to create the content. Now, what I'm saying is, okay, if I was going to create the content anyway, and I was going to send it to everybody after the fact, all I'm doing now by doing it live is capturing a whole bunch of additional attention that I wouldn't have otherwise had, that I now stand a shot at getting in front of. And you and I wouldn't be having this conversation, and I wouldn't have been able to help out Diane, right? So that's sort of another one of the powerful things about it. And it's the future, full stop. These live streams, and live streams specifically, selling art or photography, being able to hold it up and merchandise it. My goodness, such a powerful thing, such a powerful thing. And I gotta tell you guys too, like, in marketing, there's like cheesy term called a pattern interrupt, right? Like, I don't know if it's cheesy or what, but the idea is that when everybody is just subjected to the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again, you have to hit them with something different to interrupt, to break the pattern, to get their attention. Like if you and I were going for a walk, okay, and we're walking down the street, and as we're walking down the street, on the side is just rose bush after rose bush, red rose bush after red rose bush after red rose bush after red rose bush. Now do that for like 10 years, okay? We are so sick of seeing the red roses. And then all of a sudden, there's this giant, beautiful green palm tree with flowers hanging down from it, right? I have one of those in my backyard. It's really cool. But it's annoying when the thing drops and I have to pick it up. But all of a sudden you would stop and you're like, whoa, that's amazing. Like, I was so sick of seeing red roses. Well, guess what on social media is the red roses? 2D image after 2D image after 2D image after 2D image. I don't care what's in it. I don't care if it's this cool background, or if it's your art or your photography or whatever amazing thing it is. It's boring. And it's not boring because the work is not beautiful. It's boring because there are 100 million of these things that we see on a weekly basis. one photo, 2D image, 2D image, 2D image, 2D image after 2D image. And that's not what you're selling, right? And that's not something that like I'm gonna find or really desire that I want. Like I really want to have that 2D image. It's not real. It's not tangible. No one buys 2D images. I don't go to your website and buy a JPEG, right? I don't go to your website and buy a GIF or a TIFF or whatever format you save yours in, right? What I do buy is the actual work. It's tangible. It's real. It gets shipped to me in a box and it goes on my wall. It's something that I can actually lust after. Like, ooh, I like this little picture of paradise. I would love it, right? So understand what you're selling and understand the power of the live art show. When you are holding this up, right, and you are merchandising it and you're talking about it, it's a pattern interrupt. It's the palm tree. Look at how that worked out. I didn't even plan that. It's the palm tree, right? It's such a powerful thing. My goodness, is it a powerful thing? And so many of you guys are breaking the rules on that on a regular basis. And I'm not blaming you. Everyone's doing it. I've done it my entire career, but you realize that when you actually start showing the product that is going to show up in a box at my front doorstep, I now have something that I'm coveting, that I want. No different than when I see the fold up scooter that I want to get. I want to get one of those little fold up scooters and just carry it around in my car. So then you can like park far away and zoom in. I'm weird like that. I want one. But now I have that thing in my mind and I see it and I want it. It's a tangible product. The tangible product for you guys is what goes on the wall, right? It's not a 2D image. It's not a 2D image of just like framed in tight of your particular canvas if you're an artist. So it's a very, very important thing to contemplate. For those just tuning in, doing an AMA, going to be going for a few more minutes. So any questions you have about art storefronts, what we do as a business, running live art shows, running Facebook ads, niche selection, pricing, branding, art galleries. Don't go into art galleries. No, I'm just kidding. You can get into an art gallery and it's providing you income. I'm not opposed, but you got to be working on that collector list. So that's what I would say. I'm glad I got Instagram going again. All right. Well, on that note, then I think we leave it there. But thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys and hope to see you on a future AMA.